We do have a quorum present, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. Before we vote to approve the agenda, do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda that needs to be noted?
We have one deletion under the administrator regarding the criteria for the insurance. We'll discuss that at a later date. And also add under Commissioner Hardy, under the separation of the parks, separate the bank accounts with signatories as well.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? And if not, could I get a motion to accept the agenda with the additions and deletions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
wasn't we also going to put in that motion about the no cash? We was going to do the cards. Do we need to do
That
that
was
too?
under Commissioner Hardy's about the credit card.
You want to do that? Okay, so let's add that. All right. Any other questions or concerns? Any other additions and deletions?
Would you repeat that about the credit card?
Under Commissioner Hardy, he is going to ask for a resolution that we not accept cash at the parks, and we go to credit cards only, I suppose,
Or checks?
or checks. Okay.
But I'm gonna ask for, that resolution, I'm gonna ask for the weigh-in, because Gerald wasn't here at the time, about that cash thing when we get to that point, if he would, to weigh in some insight on that, though.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Could I get a motion to accept the agenda with the additions and deletions?
I make a motion, we accept the agenda for November 26, 2019, with the additions and deletions.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes of the November 12th meeting? And if so, could I get a resolution to approve those minutes?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes for the regular meeting dated November the 12th, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the claims? And if so, could I get a motion to pay the bills?
I make a motion, we pay the bills of November 26, 2019.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We'll come to the public comment section. And if we could, get the Board of Education to come up and make their presentation.
On behalf of the Board of Education, we'd like to turn this over to our attorney, who will be handling the tax resolution.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, my name's Kane Burnett. I'm with the law firm of Bradley, Arant, in Birmingham, and here tonight on behalf of the Board of Education. The Board of Education, as this commission is aware, is dependent on local ad valorem revenues for its fiscal health. And the board is the recipient of 4 ad valorem taxes in the county. One of those is non-voted, and 3 of those are voted mills. Those 3 voted mills, the 3 taxes, and those make up 8 mills total, had a final collection on October 1 of 2019. And in order for those mills to continue without any gaps, the board has taken action to request that this commission call and conduct a special election on February 11th of next year. Those actions that the board have taken include the gathering of petitions of more than 200 voters as required under Alabama law, and also the adoption of resolutions at the board's meeting, adoption of the resolutions by unanimous vote, in fact, at the board meeting last Tuesday, November the 19th. And so those have been presented to the commission, and therefore the Board of Education would request that the commission tonight adopt resolutions that have been put before it in writing that would agree to call an election on February 11th. Again, these are renewals, no new taxes. The renewals would cover a period of 30 years which is the maximum amount permitted under Alabama law. But no increase in tax rate, and nothing in these requests is anything other than business as usual.
Okay. And you would ask that we adopt those as 4 resolutions
Yes, yes,
under
sir.
one motion, and just we would adopt those under, as presented in the agenda, where we don't have to read
Right.
those 4 resolutions into the minutes?
I'll defer to your county attorney on that, but that would be my thought, is that
Okay.
because they're one subject matter, they could be introduced as a packet item.
Okay. Okay. Well, I would entertain a motion and a second where we could open for discussion.
I'll make a motion that we enter with the Board of Education, accept the Board of Education's recommendation for all 4 resolutions under
As presented in the
in our meeting, to continue the new tax, continue the tax, not new tax, for the Board of Education for a total of, is that 8 mil?
Yes, sir.
8 mills.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The floor is open for discussion. If y'all have questions, now's the time to ask.
I'd like to, for the record, to show that we have Miss Sullivan, Miss Sanders, Miss Patterson, Mr. Moore, and Miss Price present in support of this continuing tax. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Commissioner Hardy, I'd also like to make a note that Mr. Jackson, the other board member, is at his 1-year-old
Yes,
granddaughter's birthday party, which is probably a good thing for his personal life.
that's right.
And also the other gentleman, Chris Smith, is also not here because he has a health issue, but they wanted to express my, to you, their support too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin, for
All right.
clarifying that.
Well, there's a couple of comments that I would like to make, just so the paper will know. And we're gonna get together with the board and issue a statement with all the facts included. But, the county is tasked by the state of Alabama through a couple of amendments and constitutional amendments, to fund the Board of Education with up to 10 mills of ad valorem tax. And without that, they don't qualify for the Alabama Trust Fund endowment. And that's 40-something million of their budget. So we really have a couple of options, and one is to pass it or shut the school system down. And so we're here tonight to vote on this, to have a special called election to take this up for the Board of Education and for our children. And I think it's very important that we all understand that this is not a new tax. This is a renewal of an existing tax. If I understand correctly, this has been done in 20-year terms in the past, and it's been renewed twice. So this tax has been standing for 40 years, and what we're asking for is a 30-year renewal because of the bonding situation. Bonding companies now want a 30-year guarantee, and in the past they wanted a 20-year guarantee. And that's the only thing that's changing with the tax renewal is the term of the tax. Anything else to add? All right, hearing nothing else, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, guys.
Can I say on behalf of the Board of Education, as Mayor Superintendent, we appreciate all that y'all do for us, and we look forward to working with you to get this thing passed for
Thank you.
renewal.
Thank you, too.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Let's open those bids if you can while we're moving forward, and when you have them ready, you just tell us and we'll read those or spread them around.
Will you make an announcement what the bid's for?
We've got 2 bids. One is for the commissary at the jail, and the other is for the bathhouse that'll be at Manuka Park. And those will both be open tonight. And once they're open and reviewed, we will vote to accept those bids, and then we'll return those bids to be reviewed to make sure that the lowest bid meets the bid requirements. And at our next meeting at the end of the month, we will vote to award the bid. So as we move forward, Mr. Singleton, would you like to come and address us while we're getting these bids open?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Billy Singleton. I serve as the president of the Chilton County Chamber of Commerce. And at a recent board meeting, the chamber voted to undertake a community service project. And I brought this to you a few weeks ago, and it's about the awning that's outside of the courthouse. We went to the city council and presented this last night and got their blessing to continue move forward. And if I may, I'll just leave with you a rendering of what we have in mind, and it's just to remake that area around that awning. And you'll notice from the drawings that it has a lot of historical significance. We tried to do as much from the old courthouse that stood near that spot and integrate that into this project. As I mentioned, our board of directors did vote to approve this project. We've established a 501c3 foundation to raise the funds for it. Our next move now that we have a concept for it will be to get the design done, a cost estimate given to us, and then we'll begin the fundraising process. So I'm not here to ask for anything. I just wanted to keep you abreast of what we're doing as we move forward in case you get any questions about it. And I'll certainly be back as we reach each of these phases to bring you up to speed on our progress.
We'll have to stop a smoking section out there.
Yes,
It's
we
too
will.
nice to be smoked on.
I would say that we do have the historic marker for the county in our possession, and we'll be asking the city to move theirs over under this to where they face each other as well. And you'll see there's an inlay of Chilton County, hopefully in the floor tile portion between the two.
That's good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, Mr. Billy. If you guys will bear with me a minute, I'm gonna look through these before we carry on, because I'm not talented enough to do, but Billy,
Billy, can you get with me about something out of the meeting? I'd like, I really, or maybe even during the meeting, this,
okay,
you know, I
are
really
these
think
same bids?
if y'all get to do all this, wouldn't it be mighty nice to fix them courthouse steps to match everything you're doing over here and over there to the,
Well, that's kind of why I wanted you to see this, to kind of know what we're
Okay.
doing. So if there's any future work to the face of the front of the courthouse, maybe we can
yeah,
do it in a manner that
it'd
complements
probably be
each other.
cheaper to do it now than,
Yeah, yeah, thanks.
Now, we have, hold on a minute, is this the same? What you have in your hand, show me that. This-
All these should be bathhouses, should be four.
Yeah, but I've got a duplicate here,
Same person?
same person, same bid.
Yeah, MJ
Okay.
Wood.
Which one? You will pass them back to me, I'm gonna read this.
These are the same, yeah? Yeah.
Okay. I guess they, maybe we made a copy of it. Maybe they sent us 2 copies. That's probably what we did.
Both of them signed by him, Joe. Because they're signed by him, he just wanted to see them back, let's keep it.
Well,
Hand me them right there, and we'll be looking at them and pass them back to you.
okay.
Thank you.
All of these are very reputable companies. All of them are good companies.
All right, guys, if y'all will bear with me as I try to put these in some kind of sequential order. Let's see.
Section 2.
Okay, we have a bid from Fraser Owsley Construction and Engineering for $236,200. We have a bid from M.J. Brooks and Son Construction Incorporated for $275,000. We have a bid from Liberty Construction Company LLC for $320,000. And we have a bid from Midstate Construction LLC for $327,000. So we will give these to Gerald. And Gerald, you review these and make sure that they meet the bid criteria. And then at our next meeting, let us know if the lowest bidder does. And if they do, we'll vote to accept. All right? Thank you. Did y'all get those numbers? Okay.
We're still trying to find a bid. Should be found one in there.
I don't know if you can find a bid.
I don't think we can neither.
I think we're gonna have to just say who they're from and let the sheriff dig through.
Yeah, Sheriff, is there gonna be a rate or something on this, they doing this for, on this commissary?
Should be. Legacies, it's under, number 11.
Legacy's number 11, what about Kimball's?
I'm looking,
Number 5 on Kimball's?
Kimball should be the last page of section 2.
Last page of section 2. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've been flipping and flopping and,
you
I'm trying to decipher how to tell. That's a sample county.
do. Keys is under,
Guys, because these are so complex, let's read the names and let's turn those back to the sheriff's department. And we'll let him advise.
yeah, 'cause,
Let Gerald look over them,
yeah.
and he can, Gerald was good at that stuff.
Okay, we have a bid from Kimball's. We have a bid from, I guess that's Keefe Commissary Networks LLC. And we have a bid from, Legacy, Commissary Services. And because we don't know enough about this, we're gonna turn those back to you guys and y'all advise us on
Which
the
direction?
lowest bid and which one meets our bid requirements. All right, we'll move forward until we hear back from y'all, and if you want to do that tonight at the end of the meeting or at our next meeting, however y'all want to do that,
I'll make a motion that we accept these bids.
okay?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept these bids, and that would be all bids including the bathhouse, correct?
We'll have to do them separate.
Okay, well, let's do the bathhouse first, Alan, because I failed, I should.
I was fixing to ask if we
Go
do.
ahead and do
Okay,
that.
I make a motion we accept the bids for the bathhouse.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to accept the bids of the bathhouse. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously.
All right, now I make a motion we accept the bids of the commissary.
Second. Good.
We have a motion and a second to accept the bids for the commissary. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Alan. All right, guys. We don't have anything with the road department tonight, so Judge Calhoun, if you will.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, the entire commission, for allowing me to be on the agenda tonight. I'm here asking for a resolution to change the voting location in precinct 140, also known as Union Grove. We'll be changing that location from Union Grove Fire Station to the Union Grove Baptist Church. This resolution will take effect for the 2020 presidential primary, and it will not have an impact or affect the recently called special election that we will be having on February the 11th.
So it'll take effect, when was that, Judge?
March the 3rd for the presidential, what's known as the presidential primary in 2020.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to
effective Judge Calhoun's.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, to move the Union Grove voting precinct 140 from the Union Grove Fire Station to Union Grove Baptist Church, on or before March 3rd.
That is correct. We are, when you change a voting location, it has to be done before 90 days of the election. We are within that window to do that. So.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
EMA Director Wright, please, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The only request I have is to solicit bids for a grant that was received for interactive televisions for the Emergency Operating Center multipurpose room. So I just need to request I can solicit those bids in effect with our minimum requirements for the counties.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to give the EMA Director permission to solicit bids for interactive screens that will be funded by grant money. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
You need anything from me? Anything?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Is he reviewing the bids?
That was the one with Gerald was an architect representative, People McKee and Associates.
Okay. All right, Sheriff?
Yeah, you got
Okay.
it.
You got to review them before we move forward? Okay. Okay, so we'll do that at our next meeting then, okay? Good deal. All right, I assume that we've taken care of Gerald's bid opening. You have those. And so we will look forward to hearing from you on that. If you will, stick around because Jimmy's got some questions under his commissioner responsibilities for you. Okay? Whitney has not made it back. She said she would be close, so if she comes in before the meeting, we'll slide her in. And if not, she didn't have anything actionable. She just had an update. Nothing from the coroner, nothing from transit, nothing from Board of Registers, nothing from litter control. Come down to commissioner reports, and I've handed out to you guys in the work session my idea of the commissioner responsibilities. I'd like for y'all to look at those, and if you have any issue or main feedback, get with me, and we'll enter those into the minutes at the next meeting. Commissioner Caton, do you have anything you'd like to address this? Okay. Commissioner Mims is not present tonight. Commissioner Hardy?
I'm going to be asking for a resolution tonight to separate Manuki Park and Higgins Ferry Park in two different parks. Gerald and Steve's been working a lot together, and Gerald's talked more to Steve than he has me on getting some things done that I'm sure that Gerald would probably be excited about, to get things done to create revenue. And moving forward with getting these parks to par, to try to get them to be economically stable and be able to support themselves. I'm wanting to do that same thing with Higgins Ferry, and to try to get our entities up to par. And with as much as Gerald's got on his platter, and I haven't been able to talk to him about this, I've talked with Steve, and that he's going to be needed a lot up there where he's at. Because you have to take a lot of time off to go down to Higgins Ferry, correct?
Well, yeah, pretty good bit, but not so much this time of year.
Yeah, but when we're busy, it just takes away from your time from being up there. Right. So we want to try to help you out with that and just split these parks up in two different entities, and also separate the checking accounts too, to see, so we can see how one reflects on the other. We want to also, I'm also asking this resolution for us to quit accepting cash, and to be able to take credit cards and and checks at these parks. Most people are going to that type of thing, and if I can get a second, then we'll open for discussion, then we can open up discussion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and that resolution would be to split Manuka Park and Higgins Ferry into separate entities with separate bank accounts, allowing for the signatories on those bank accounts. And also to add to that is that we explore no cash at both parks,
Effective January 1st.
effective January 1st.
On that resolution to where it says, credit card and check, you say maybe credit cards and local checks, no,
Yeah.
because if you get out-of-town checks.
Well, that's why I was we'll go into discussion with that, and we'll,
Okay. We have a motion, second, floor is open for
discussion, there
discussion.
you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say we need to leave
Right.
the out-of-town checks out, because you can't hardly collect them.
So,
You need local checks and anything on.
Gerald, what percentage of cash you think that we actually take in? Is it a low number, is it a big number? Well, would you, let me rephrase that. Manuka Park, just talking about Manuka Park, is there a lot of cash coming in for the riders?
Yeah, there's a lot of cash coming in, the riders,
Yeah, but a lot of them don't have them, but they have a check.
campers are more so credit cards.
Right.
And the credit cards, our revenue, it's increased what we take in more on credit cards. We're
Mhm.
still, typical deposits, it's gonna be anywhere from a third to maybe at least a third cash.
Okay. That's just Manuka Park we're talking about. Now, Higgins Ferry, was you getting a lot of cash as far as campsites there?
We get a good bit of cash there, and we get a lot of checks there.
Yeah.
We don't get that many credit cards at Higgins Ferry.
We just now started taking credit cards down there, didn't we?
When I took over Higgins Ferry, when we started using the same system that we use at Manuka, and started taking credit cards.
How long's that been in effect?
4 or 5 years.
Okay. I know he's doing a different thing on his phone, so I didn't know if that was something
That's
that,
what we do. You can do it off your phone, you can do it on your computer.
got you. Okay.
It's square, isn't it?
Square reader.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, could we say credit cards and debit cards?
Yeah, we need to, with credit and debit.
Would you mind amending your
That's-
second?
that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so, I don't want to cut off our hands to spare our feet, but me and Steve was, Commissioner Langston was talking that, with the cash that's coming in, we just figured it'd be better for us economical for credit cards because most people are dealing with credit cards. A lot of people don't, unless you're paying price, you got all cash, but,
Can I add something that?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
This is for accounting purposes only.
yeah, counting.
Okay. All right, we have
We have a lot of lower ticket items at Higgins Ferry, at Manuka.
Like your riders.
Some of them, like the riders, are $15. Somebody just comes in to fish, it's $5. So I just wanna get this straight. If somebody just has $5 and they come in to fish, they don't have a debit card or a check, I turn them away. That's what you're telling me.
That's why I want you to be up here, if you would, come up here if you would. That's why I want you to be able to ask them questions, that way we ain't cutting our nose off, spite our face. Because the only low-ticket items we have is at Manuka, correct? There ain't no,
Unless you're one night, a 1 or 2 night RV stays.
Right.
You stay one night on a water and power site, and it's $20.
right.
So we could amend, and this is just discussion, but we could amend that motion to say for camping only.
Yeah.
And that would allow you to do your fishing.
Well, any small tickets, you got the trail rides and anything really.
Well, you could say,
A minimum.
you could say anything over $25 must be on a credit card or debit card.
Yeah, because if you pay something for $5, it costs much more than that in fees on a credit card.
Gerald, what do you think the limit should be?
It's gonna cost us about 3%
Right.
to take a credit card.
So $20 would be a
I
good,
would
fair
be-
number?
What about 100 and below?
I would be more on like weekly, anything weekly camping, I'd leave it at camping, weekly camping and up. Require a credit card if you know, if you're trying to
Right.
eliminate as much cash. And then if they come in, anything below that, you know, 1 or 2 nights.
From an auditing standpoint, cash is a nightmare
It's hard to
for
track.
us.
It's
It
hard to
is,
track cash.
but we don't want to turn no money
No,
down.
no, you're right.
Well, I
So-
think you got a valid point there with the weekly, and, because, the weekly are a higher number, you know, of cash amount.
Can
Then
we,
get into your monthly
can we table this to the December 10th meeting and work these details out?
on the cash part of it.
What he's talking about?
On the cash
cash.
part.
Yeah, I think we should, I'll amend my, motion to take the cash out of that motion. We'll address it other time and do some more research and just take that out there and we can.
Joe, are you
Second.
okay with amending
Yeah.
your second?
That's fine.
Any other discussion? So I'm gonna repeat this as it is reflected, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Commissioner Hardy we have a motion and a second to separate Manuka Park and Higgins Ferry into separate entities with separate bank accounts. The resolution would allow for the signatures on the account, to reflect on the bank account. So that would be, I assume the chairman and Miss Sylvia would be the signatures?
There are 3 on the checking
And the
account.
vice chairman.
The
Vice-
chair, vice chair, and the administrator.
Okay. So y'all have that? All in favor signify by saying aye.
But make sure that we know, just for the record, all the salaries there will be no adjustment in salaries. It'll be the salaries will be committed as they are right now.
Okay. Okay.
What question?
You're separating. So do I have any responsibilities over Higgins Ferry anymore?
No,
I think you're gonna have more than you wanna deal with at Manuka when Steve finishes what he's doing.
That's-
It's gonna
that mean-
quadruple the size of it.
One way or another.
What, Joe?
I said that thing should stay full one way or
Yeah.
another then.
Right.
We're gonna have a full-time person there. So we're either gonna have to hire another person or give you total responsibility of the big part. And I'm assuming we'll give
Mr. Giles,
Mr. Giles a responsibility over Higgins Ferry.
do you see something I'm missing here? I mean,
No, I don't, I mean, this is the first time I've seen it, so I can't, this is the first time I've heard it, so.
Well,
Yeah,
we're tripling the camping sites?
yeah.
Yeah,
With
I know we got a lot going on.
We got.
that
it's-
part and then the phase 2 coming into effect, there's a lot of things.
We need a full-time person there.
Yes, we need a full-time person, and we got a full-time person, Higgins, but for you to come down and him monitor everything he does, or he has to call you, or I have to call you and ask you about what can we do. But I think our hands is tied right now, is my opinion. I want to meet with Alabama Power. I want to do other things down there at Higgins Ferry. And once those things are yours and what we want to do, we want to do,